Welcome back to the JAGcast. I'm Marin Heide, and today I'm joined by our very own Director of Bands here at South, Mr. Ken Hansen. So, to start off the conversation, you've been teaching band here at South since around 2012? What got you interested in music and directing?
My past is my dad was my band director. So I had him from 6th grade through 12th grade. And I grew up being his son. So before I was even in band, I was Bob Hansen's son. He was a really well-known band director in the state, very well respected across everything. And so I kind of did everything in my power to not be a band director. But I went to some band camps in the summers, and specifically after my junior year, I went to the KU band camp. It was called the Midwestern Band Camp, and I was able to play under the direction of at the time, the director of the United States Air Force Band was Colonel Gabriel. And that experience was kind of life-changing for me. And he probably has no idea that he affected my life like that, but played in a really fantastic band. And that moment, I was like, this is what I wanted to do. And my plans were to go to KU and go to school. But my parents were both had graduated from Central Methodist, and it just so happened that somebody kind of recruited me and just asked me to go along. And at Central Methodist, it was going to give me some opportunities I wasn't going to have at KU, and just different. So I got a chance to do band and choir there, sang for 4 years, played in the band for 4 years. I wrote drill for the marching band while I was there, and got to play in the jazz band for 4 years. So some really cool things that at a large university like KU wasn't going to be able to be possible. So it's kind of what got the bug going, and then once I started teaching, I mean, it's really a major passion for me.
That's super cool. So our marching band broke a record this year at Bands of America. Mm-hmm. We got 8th place overall. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Accomplishment. What are some challenges that you faced in preparing the band?
Yeah, so this year we have been trying to be on a track of kind of creating more complicated shows, asking our students to do a little bit more, if you take it back to your first question was why'd you do this? Back in the old days, we would kind of march from one place to the other. It might take us, musically, in music terms, it might take us 32 counts or 64 counts to get someplace. And what we're asking our students to do now is about every 8 counts or every 16 counts, we're going to do something, and we're going to take some pretty big steps, and we're going to make them stand on their ear and do some dance and body and play some ridiculous notes. And so this year we had a big freshman class, so we were a little bit nervous about how would they do, what would we sound like and look like, and we performed the most complicated show we've performed to this point. And that's kind of why the judges, if you ever watch gymnastics, say for the Olympics, right? And one person does a bar routine, you're like, I thought that was great. But the next person comes up and does a bar routine, you're like, I thought that was great too, but it scored higher points. Mm-hmm. Because to us, we don't realize the difficulty that the second performer did, right? So the second gymnast comes up and does something that gymnasts know, oh my goodness, you see where they put their hands and how they did this, and that's so hard to get your body to manipulate around the bar to do X, Y, or Z. Well, we do the same thing in the band world. And so, to the casual viewer that's like, it looks kind of like what it's been before, but I kind of like it. Mm-hmm. But to the judging community and what we do, our level of detail and challenge is much different. And so it kind of put us in a different conversation competitively, and it's paid off this year. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's great. So how competitive are the marching bands that we compete against?
Well, so this is, it marks the second year since 2014, we've not finished outside the top 3 in the state of Missouri, and we've kind of cemented our place as the second best marching band in the state. And the Blue Springs School District has a top 2, and for right now, it's really not even that close. Our two marching bands are really, really premier groups, not just in the state, but kind of in the Midwest. And so when we compete at different places, this year we went down to Bentonville, Arkansas, to see bands from Oklahoma and Arkansas and a few from Missouri and kind of compete there. And we went down to Tulsa to compete against groups from Kansas and Missouri and Oklahoma. I don't think there was an Arkansas group at that particular show this year, but those are really strong competitions to kind of see, kind of where are we, and to get some great feedback from the judging community of, what we're doing. Are they seeing what we're doing? Do we need to change it or adjust? So we kind of make some small adjustments all along the way of, okay, let's take this part out. Let's make this one more difficult. Let's do this or that. So the show kind of constantly evolves through the season until we get to the last one, and then you hope it was good enough, and this year it was. So
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, how does marching band benefit students and schools as a whole? Yeah,
so this is a question that we kind of have to make sure that we're asking ourselves as directors and leaders of the program is, as much as it's fun to win and as much as it's really fun to be good, it's really important for us to make sure we build a relationship with the students within the program so that I would love for everybody to play in the band because, I love to play the flute. But the real reality is they like the people they're around.
Yeah.
They trust the people they're around. They feel supported and safe. And so we've really worked hard to build a culture that students want to be a part of, and that directors want to be a part of, that the parents want to be a part of, and trying to find ways to do that. So this year we took one more step post-COVID that has allowed those relationships, I think, to build a little bit better, the bonds between students to be a little bit deeper. And our leadership team, it just has continued to evolve into being much, much better leaders. And I think that's just kind of helped create this, again, the culture, the environment, so that people kind of want to be a part of it. Because not everybody is going to be the same music nerd kind of importance to be in band, but we all like to be around people that we like to be around. And so if we can continue to do that, and I think that's something that really developed to a different level for us this year. There were on the field performing, there were 14 members of the band that were seniors, that were wind players or percussionists. There were 4 color guard, and then we had like a drum major. He did perform, but he didn't play. And then we had somebody behind our soundboard. Again, he helped our performance, but didn't perform on the field. Mm-hmm. So when you take the amount of students that are on the field, and you take that we're really led by those 14 to 16 wind and percussion seniors and our 4 color guard, everybody wanted to be there because the culture was right, that they felt good. And that when that culture is right, those students impact a school because, one, they're happy to be here. They come to school all the time. When you're in school all the time, you're most likely to do better in school. Mm-hmm. And you're hopefully one of those people that other folks can, in the school climate, that is a positive source for leadership throughout the school, or just at least to impact and support the leadership that is of the school. And, it kind of goes hand in hand. If we do things the right way and, we're a part of a football game, well, when the opposing team comes down to our end zone, we get really loud. It's, we have a lot of fun trying to impact the game. It's not just about the band. It's about, where are we and how can we best be our best selves? And I think all of those things kind of go hand in hand to just kind of creating that culture that helps. What it does for each individual student, though, like all of our freshmen who come in, they do spend some time with us over the summer. That gets them comfortable with the school. Even if they didn't go to the classroom, they just feel comfortable. By the first day of school, they're like, yeah, I know this school. I know where I'm going. I've seen, Mr. Hansen or Mr. Johnson or Mr. Walling or one of the other staff members we have. They've been in our gyms. They've seen, our PAC lobbies and whatever. So that starts to make their anxiety go down a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it usually helps that transition from especially middle school to high school. And it helps our high school students, as they go along, they get a chance their freshman year to just kind of be followers and what's this look like. And as we progress, then they have to take on different leadership roles. And, that doesn't come, nobody does that perfectly the first time. So it comes with like little blemishes and bumps and learning opportunities along the way. And I think that just makes our school culture better.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm not personally in band, of course, but even like as an outside observer, I have a ton of friends who are, and it's such a tight-knit community. It's crazy.
Yeah, they call it a family all the time, and if you have a family of more than one sibling, you know that you don't always get along.
Yeah.
But it is really important that you kind of all have each other's back, and we talk about that a lot. And there are a lot of folks, over the years, there's people who've like, I've never been in band, but can I join? Because they see the relationships we have, kind of that family atmosphere and things. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just kind of come along and cheer the whole way. But hopefully that impact is there for our students and for the people that are also in their lives that aren't in band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, lastly, is there anything else you want to say about marching band, your students, or your time at South?
Well, those are some pretty big topics right there.
Yeah.
But, the marching band is a part of the time where it's really fun because all of our students are in one activity. Mm-hmm. What's about to happen and where we are right now is we're about to build 2 jazz bands or maybe 3. Those work after school. All of our bands are separated into hours, 1, 2, and 3. Wind ensemble, symphonic band, concert band. And so we don't really have the same mission the whole time. We always want to play well and do the right things, but we kind of branch out in these other things. Even our pep band, when we go to basketball games, we can't have the whole band there at every pep band or every basketball game. We'd take up too much of the stands, and it's a lot for students to come. So that gets broken apart a little bit. And so marching band is so much fun because it is that time of the year that we're all in one activity with one kind of mission. And so that, I think that's part of what makes that family atmosphere pretty fun. And hopefully if we built those relationships and those bonds, that by the time we get into the concert season, a jazz season, that everybody knows what to do. We also break our color guard program that's with us in the fall, and it becomes inside and it does winter stuff. And so that comes into 2 different groups, and we have a middle school one. So we're here a lot, but in a different capacity. And so that changes some things. And you asked me like what my thoughts at South or whatever. When I first got here, I had to take over for somebody that the students really loved. And so it took a long time for students to kind of be okay with my personality and my leadership of the program. And especially right before COVID, we were really, really doing a great job. And then that little pause happened, and we had a chance and an opportunity to kind of reset. Like, what do we want to do? What do we like to do? And, are we doing what we thought we were doing? Because that was an opportunity for us to do we need to go a slightly different direction? Do we need to adjust? And we've made some little adjustments to the program, and I think we're all tremendously happy with where we are with the band right now, the entire program, and just kind of seeing the direction that we are going. We're really, really stoked about what it is, and I think our students are really excited. I mean, we got to play in Carnegie Hall last year with 3 concert bands, and had a magnificent performance. And, our Top Wind Symphony got accolades from their performance there. And, some things that we've done in the marching band, we get a chance to go march in the London New Year's Day Parade in 25, 26, the 26th school year, New Year, technically. But those opportunities don't come without having the right friendships and bonds and relationships. And that's a teacher-student relationship as well. Like, we can't just be like, well, I'm important, and so you should value me. Like we have those same relationships, and every student who walks through the door has impact on us as teachers. And I don't think students often know that, but how they treat us is sometimes as important as kind of how we treat them. And each one of them helps shape our teaching career and what we do. And so it's been a really great time. We're amazing students here at South that I feel very blessed and honored to be able to be a part of. So
yeah, that's great. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you right now. So that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for tuning in if you're watching, and thank you so much, Mr. Hansen, for being here. It was such a pleasure to talk to you about all this.
Well, thanks for having me, and if this is your first time watching the podcast, please watch some more, all right? Mm-hmm. They're going to have some great people on here, way better than me, so it's going to be awesome.
Once again, I'm Marin Heide, and thank you for watching the JAGcast. I'll see you next time.